Hey everybody, Rosematter here, and welcome to part 24 of my Fate Stay Night Let's Play. So the previous episode was pretty crazy. We had, the aftermath of the date with Shiro and Saber didn't go very well. When Shiro went to go get her after she kind of just like let him go off after they had the arguments, they seem to have made up a little bit. They got stopped by Gilgamesh. Things seemed real bad, like real bad. Shiro somehow almost got sliced in half, but managed to survive. The two of them worked together and they were able to drive Gilgamesh off. And then they kind of had a sweet moment where they spent the night together to recharge her magical energy. And of course, as Shiro does, he decides that he's going to go to the church, just go off on his own without telling anybody where he's going. That's like, he needs to stop doing that. It almost always ends badly whenever that happens. And the big reveal is that Kyrie not only has a servant, who is Lancer, and possibly two servants, but he is also using the children, the orphans from the fire 10 years ago that were adopted by the church, and is using them to absorb their energy, I'm guessing. And it turns out like Shiro would have been one of them if he hadn't been adopted by Carrie. And then Lancer pierced him with the gay bulg thing. He's dying out on the floor. Saber sensed that, is off to go rescue him. And that is where we left off, was with Saber and Lancer about to have their final duel. But before we do anything else, I'm going to go back and I'm going to make the other choice before I went down into the basement of the church and just go home and see what happens if I do that. But yeah, I'm really excited to see the big fight between Saber and Lancer. So let's jump back into it. Let's see what happens next. What if he just went back home and all was good? It's just like just being completely just oblivious to all the horrible stuff that is down there. Now that's what most people do if they feel like that horrible just sense that like something is very wrong. Something is super wrong. I shouldn't go. Especially because Shiro has been pretty much 100% when he has these premonitions, these bad feelings. I look away from the darkness leading underground. I run, suppressing my raging heart. I'm gonna be a coward. I don't care. I can't stay in here another second. I want to get out of this building as fast as I can. This place is bad. It's been bad for a long time. This church is a terrible place for Emiya Shiro. I should never have entered this building, nor met that priest. I reach the chapel. This empty house of God is ominous. I run while looking behind me. I'm almost at the exit. Okay, so he's gonna get stopped anyway. He's not gonna make it home, is he? There's no one behind me. There's no one behind me. There's no one behind me. I leave the church. I run without turning back. What did I fear, and what was I trying not to see? The unease in my back remains. Oh, he actually made it home. I'm shocked. I thought he was going to get stopped by Lancer. And now we're back to the happy music. As soon as I get home, I'm surprised. Saber's standing at the entrance. Right? I do not blame her for being upset. He just doesn't learn his lesson. Spoiler alert, he won't be.
次などありません。今度という今度は本気で怒りました。シロ、外出の理由を教えてください。昨日の傷も癒えきっていない。いつギルガメッシュが襲ってくるかもわからない状況で、どうして私を困らせるのです。
Saber glares sharply at me, but
教会に行ってきたんだ。あの神父からギルガメッシュの弱点でも聞ければいいと思って。
教会ですか。しかしどうして今になって。
前に相談したんだ。監督役のあいつなら前回から残っているサーバントをどうにかできるかもしれないって。けど無駄だったし失敗した。確かに怒られて当然だ。俺にはセイバーがいるんだからちゃんと二人で教会に行けばよかったんだ。
I lower my head once more in apology.
いえ、 分かってもらえれば私は別に。
Saber withdraws her threatening attitude instantly. That's right. Saber was really mad at my stupidity, but she's soft enough to forgive me. If I'm not conceited, it's like her resentment at being left alone was cancelled just by me having come home.
そうですね。シローが反省しているのならこの件は不問に処します。私も少々大人げなかったようです。
そんなことないけど、セイバー、俺のことを待っててくれたんだろ。正直それで助かった。玄関で怒鳴られた時、ようやく不安が取れてくれて。
私に怒鳴られて
She's
助
like,
かったのですか？
Alright, I will yell at you more then.
セイバーのところに帰ってきてよかったって、心底ほっとした。
Yes, I'm happy to be back. I'm able to see Saber again. If I had gone down those stairs, I feel like I would have never returned. Thinking about it, I think that choice was a good one. Are we just like, is all that stuff like we're not gonna find out any of what just happened? Like,
ランサーと協力するのはどうでしょ
oh
うか？
no, that's a bad idea. It's funny, in hindsight, I know this is bad because I chose the other option and I know the truth. So by making this choice, I just don't learn any of that stuff about Kirei, about the kids, about him being Lancer's master. This is a pretty big change. I'm assuming we'd find this out later, but...
セイバー、今なんて言った？
It's past 2 in the afternoon. I look at Saber over the slightly belated lunch table.
ですからランサーと協力するのです。ギルガメッシュは聖杯戦争のルール外の存在だ。ランサーにとっても見過ごせない相手でしょうから、条件さえ揃えば問題なく共闘してくれる。
敵の敵は味方ってことか。
はい。見返りがあるのなら一時的に味方になってくれるでしょう。
I don't think this is gonna be like a Rin situation, like especially if it's true that somehow Gilgamesh is working with Kirei and Lancer knows about it, then nope, that's not gonna work at all. An alliance with Lancer, huh? There certainly might be no other way. We can't match Gilgamesh by ourselves. But if Saber and Lancer could cooperate, we should be able to come up with some measures.
そうだな。ランサーが協力してくれるかはわからないが、話を持ちかけている分には
I think it actually would hurt very much.
となると、問題は。
はい。いかにランサーと接触するかですね。ランサーはあの夜以来現れませんし、彼のマスターも未だ不明です。残り2人となったこの状況で、いつまでも生還しているとは思えないのですが。
Yeah, it is interesting. It is, like, this would be perfect for Assassin, right? To be the type to get intel and to stay in the shadows. But for Lancer, it's like in Fate Zero, Lancer was the same way. Like, he very much enjoys having an equal fight, and he takes great pride in that. So that's probably very frustrating for him to, like, have to pull back and not be able to go all out and have his fights.
だよな。
So it's funny, like now we know in hindsight because I've done the other choice exactly why Lancer is acting the way he is. Oh, not at all.
ランサーは気持ちのいい英霊です。私との一騎打ちを喜びこそすれ、嫌がるとは思えない。にもかかわらず現れないということは、何か事情があるのかもしれませんね。
We both cross our arms and ponder.
朝から妙に息が合ってるのね、二人とも。
遠坂。
リン、いつからそこに？
We both are surprised at the same time.
さっきからずっと。セイバーは白、白はセイバーしか見てないもんだからさ。バカらしくなって黙ってたの。
Hey, we're talking strategy, Tosaka. Calm down.
いい判断でしょ？せっかくいい雰囲気なんだから、二人の中を邪魔しちゃ悪いし。
リン、私とシローはサーバントとマスター
She's
だっ
like,
て。
yeah. Well, what were you last night? I saw you guys all cuddled up in the morning.
はいはい、そういうことにしといてあげる。それよりさっきの話だけど、 ランサーと協力するっていうのは私も賛成よ。あの金ピカがかの英雄王ならそれぐらいしないと賞賛なんてないし。
Whoa. I don't know how long she's been listening, but Tosaka understands the situation. It seems while we were eating, she's heard that the true identity of Archer is Gilgamesh, and that his noble phantasm exceeds that of Saber's.
そんなわけなんで一旦家に戻るわ。私用の武器とランサーをおびき出す準備。
Oh yeah, also the whole thing about like Ilya
イリア
having
の
the
薬も
fever.
調合してこないといけないから。
イリアの薬？トサカ、イリアがどうかしたのか？
別に昨日から変わってないわ。呼吸は安定してるし熱も下がってる。
That's different from what she said before. She said her fever was getting up and she was getting worse. Maybe she's just keeping that to herself to not worry Shiro because it's like he needs to concentrate on beating Gilgamesh.
ま、お腹が減ったら起きてくるだろうから。そうしたら美味しいものでも作ってあげて。
She puts down her empty bowl. Tosaka was nonchalantly eating lunch too?
じゃあね。夕食までに戻るからそれまでおとなしくしてるのよ。
After Tosaka goes home, Saber and I do nothing and just stare at the clock. For some reason, the living room's tense.
シロ。
お茶のおかわりいるか、セイバ
We raise our heads at the same time and freeze as soon as our eyes meet.
ー。何かな、セイバー。用があるなら言ってくれ。
いえ、そう、お茶のおかわりをお願いします。
わかった。すぐ入れてくる。
An hour passes in this way. If we're not doing anything else, I should be being taught some sword techniques or be resting, but neither Saber nor I mention that. I know myself that I'm acting strangely. I know, but I want to be with Saber like this for now. No matter how awkward and nervous I am, and even though this is the 10th cup of tea, I still want to watch her face. And then, when I stand up to go to the kitchen, the doorbell rings.
こんな時。
This can't be good. Especially when, you know, the music gets all buzzy like this. Not many people come by my house. Sakura is the only one who might ring the doorbell. Oh yeah, that's right. Forgot about Sakura. A lot of characters just kind of like not around anymore. But she won't come here until my cooperation with Tosaka's over. Oh yeah, Fujini, that's right. Fujini's undergoing medical care at her house as well, and it's not like I associate much with my neighbors.
シロ。
ああ、一緒に来てくれ、セイバー。何かあったら大将頼む。
はい。シロの身は私が必ず。
はい。どなたですか？
I call out, still keeping the door closed.
教会のものだが、
Oh
頼ま
shit!
れていた調査の結果を知らせに来
Here,
た。
well, it's okay. So instead of us going to him, he came to us. Okay, so we're still gonna probably get, you know, the revelation about all of this. He's probably gonna come in with Lancer, and Lancer is probably gonna like just murder me on the spot. And this is crazy too, because the thing, like, I would still, like, if I'd chosen this option first, I would still be suspicious because Kiri's not to be trusted. But now, like, knowing the truth, like, just how bad he is, this is even worse. This is even scarier. And also knowing that this is probably going to be a bad end. My breathing stops for a second. The guy on the other side of the door is the guy I went to see this morning.
シロ、どうしたのです？顔色が悪いようですが。
いや、大丈夫だ。セイバー、開けていいか？セイバーが嫌なら、こいつには帰ってもらう。
On the first night we met, Saber did not want to enter the church. I remember that, so I check with her.
構いません。シロの判断に従います。
And that is a bad decision. I answer her with a nod and open the door.
随分と時間を取ったな。何か私に会いたくない理由でもあったかね、エミヤシロ。
別にない。わざわざ出向いてくれるとは思ってなかったんで、驚いただけだ。話があるんだろ。
I pull back and try to lead Kotomine into the living room, but...
いや、 立ち話でよかろう。分かったことはわずかでな。話はすぐに済む。
The priest pulls back and tries to leave the hall. Oh, it's like he knows Saber's around and he wants to, like, keep me away from her.
どこ行くんだ、琴峰。
言っただろ。立ち話をすると。だが、そこのサーバントがいてはできん。
Oh shit, so I'm gonna send her away and he's probably... He might not even need Lancer, he might kill me himself. I turn back to Saber, who's behind me.
セイバ
Kotomine is right. Saber is emitting a terrible murderous intent that even makes me pale. Well, she knows. She's got good instincts too, and she's correct.
前回のマスターが何のようです。あなたはキリツグに撃ち殺されたと聞いて
Oh, this is her first time seeing him.
確かにな。マスターを放棄し、両手を上げたところで背後から撃ち抜かれた。私に神の加護がなければ、あのまま死んでいただろう。だがそれがどうしたのだ。お前にとっては先日の話だろうが、私にとっては10年前の過去に過ぎ、すでに終わった戦いをここで蒸し返すとでも言うのか。
Saber's murderous intent doesn't weaken at all.
セイバー、琴峰の言う通りだ。
Oh, she is absolutely right. I didn't even make that connection about the fact that, like, she dealt with him directly.
シロですが、この男は油断なりません。キリツグは真っ先にこの神父を標的にした。それはこの男が何より優先して倒すべき敵だったからです。
光栄だな。最後まで残ったお前たちにそう言わしめたのなら、私も捨てたものではない。
そのような減らず口をよくも。
The air tenses. Crap. Things go on like this, I really won't be able to stop Saber.
待ってくれ、セイバー。琴峰にはギルガメシュについて調べてもらっていたんだ。もうあいつの正体は判明したけど、それ以外は謎のままだろう。今は少しでもあいつを知る必要があるんじゃないのか。
それはそうですが、しかし
私はどちらでもいいぞ。そう役に立つ話ではないかもしれん。それに私とて思うところがないわけではない。かつてこの胸を撃ち抜いた男のサーバントにここまでぶしつけな殺気を向けられては気分が悪い。まだ未熟ゆえ神父として振る舞うことができなくなりそうだ。
それは私とて同じだ。かつての敵に心を許すことなどない。
The two glare at each other. This isn't good. Things won't get anywhere like this.
セイバー、下がっていてくれ。琴峰の話を聞く。
シロ、いけない。この男は危険だ。話を聞くのなら私も。
ああ、けど気持ちはわかるが、俺だってマスターの端くれだ。
We'll see about that.
もし何かあってもすぐにはやられないし。
Oh,
セイバーだっ
Shiro.
て何かあったらすぐ来てくれるだろう。
Sometimes he's very perceptive and sometimes he's very dumb. You never say these things out loud in this game, right? Nothing bad's gonna happen.
当然だ。人の身でサーバントを出し抜けるものか。
But then he's got his own servant, but of course they don't know that yet.
エミヤシロ、お前のサーバントはどうも過保護すぎるようだな。
And he's like gaslighting her. Just be like, oh, she's just being too overly cautious just because of what happened last time. She needs to get over it.
あんたもあんまり挑発しないでくれ。とにかく話を聞く。セイバーは奥に下がってもらうから、それでいいだろ
う。いや、ここでは気が乗らん。
Oh no. He's like intentionally using Saber as an excuse because she has every right to be like all nervous, but he's using it to like make her seem paranoid, and he's like, oh no, she's just like, I can't talk around her because she sees me as an enemy when he is.
確か中庭があったはずだ。あそこならセーバーが乱心しても数秒は逃げられる。それだけの間があればお前とて霊樹でセーバーを止められる。
う。いいぜ。 けどそんなことは絶対に起こらない。セイバー、縁側で待機していてくれ。何かあったらすぐに呼ぶ。
はい。
Aw, poor Saber. She's absolutely right. And Shiro doesn't realize it.
ここならよしだ。見晴らしもいい。屋敷の作りも把握できる。
I move about 2 meters away. It's hard to hear when he speaks softly, but I can react to anything this way no matter what he does.
ね、分かったことって何なんだ、琴峰。
ああ、その前に一つ確認したいことがあるのだが。
A big smile, full of compassion. The priest takes one slow step towards me. Oh boy.
朝は留守にしてすまなかった。空。
Oh shit, it's gonna be a thing. It's like, wait, how did you know I was at the church? A thump. He throws something onto the grass. Oh, what the hell? The alarm goes off. The boundary field father put up, the alarm that reacts to intruders with malicious intent, is going off?
騒ぎの元はランサーだ。目的があって屋敷に押し入ったのだろう。
I can't hear the priest's words too well. The thing he threw at my feet. I can't take my mind off it since it looks like it could only be the corpse of a small child.
セイバーが迎え撃ったか。室内ではあれの本領は発揮できん。イリアス・ピールをさらうにはもう一手必要だろうに。
Okay, Saber went to meet the enemy, so she went to go meet Lancer. He can't fight with full power inside the building. The enemy would need one more move to kidnap Ilisviel. So they're going after Ilisviel because she's the whole thing, her mother, right? Like, she has something to do with the Holy Grail, or she is the Holy Grail. The thing that looked like a child's corpse isn't a corpse. It's alive. It's in such a miserable state I want to look away, but the child is alive. The face is completely unrecognizable, so why? Oh. A sharp, heavy object pierces my heart from behind. So the exact same thing happened, just in a different place.
人の身でサーバントを出し抜くことはできない。当然だな。サーバントを出し抜くのはやはりサーバントのみだろうよ。
I don't care about the priest's scornful laughter. I don't mind that my heart's been pierced and I'm spewing out blood from my mouth. What fills my body is wonder. Why do I recognize a corpse that isn't even human anymore? So we're still gonna get the whole breakdown? Oh, nope, never mind. Okay, I thought they were gonna go into the explanation of, like, what that is. But it makes sense that they're not gonna do that just yet. You know, it's a little bit of a preview of things to come. Hey, there's Taiga. It's been a while.
人間誰しも怖いことは嫌だよね。だからちょっとひよっただけなのに何の因果か地獄の虜。気がつけば騙し討ちされているあなたを慰める Q&A コーナー、タイガー道場の時間です。ただいま屋敷ではセイバーちゃんとランサーが戦っております。弟子1号はとっ捕まったみたいだし、シローは庭で死んでるし。
Okay, so I guess no matter what, Ilya's probably going to be captured. Maybe while Saber is away in the regular run, like when she's down in the church, maybe that's when Ilyasville is going to be captured and we have to go save her. So that means that if Saber is currently fighting Lancer, that must have been Gilgamesh, I'm guessing? Unless, like I said, he might have assassin. I know, I'm still harping on about that. Until I get confirmation, I can only assume.
さて、クライマックスを直前にしてデッドしちゃった君。君子危うきに近寄らずはいい言葉だけど、世の中避けてばかりじゃゴールにはたどり着けないのだ。選択肢に戻って自爆覚悟で教会の闇に挑むべし。物語は本
Oh man, it's almost done. I'm so sad. I know I've got other runs to do, but it feels like it's gone by so quickly.
長かった夜ももうじき明けようとしています。 セーバーちゃんの願いは果たされるのか。シローが隠し持つ心の歪みとは何なのか。そして立ちはだかる英雄王を倒す手段は。
Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. I mean, Fate Stay Night.
次回最終話。ここまで来たらノンブレーキでエンディングまで駆け抜けちゃってほしいな。
It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. All I can hear is my own breathing now. I might have a fever that could burn someone to ashes, as it feels like my brain is already melting and pouring out of my ears. Stop, 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 stop. Yes, please stop with that glitchy sound. I hate it. Something is wrong. It feels like I don't have a brain anymore, but my body still keeps telling me about the pain and my head accepts it. Help, 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 help. My head isn't the only thing that's empty. I don't know where my heart or my stomach are either. The nausea is unbearable. There's nothing left to throw up, but the nausea increases without limit. I endure the infinite repetition with gritted teeth. I can stay conscious. It's my pain, so only I have to endure it. There's no problem there. Give it back, give it back, give it back, give it back. So the problem is the voices. My head is empty, and I can only hear my breathing, but these voices still echo in my head. Is it like the voices of the children around him? I don't even need to think whose voices they are. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. It's gotta be, right? I'm going mad. Every time I hear their voices, I'm stabbed in the chest. It's not scary. I just don't have any way to atone to them. Hey, 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 hey. No matter how much they beg for help, no matter how much I want to help them, I can't help them. I won't ask them to stop calling to me. It's just that no matter how much they call, I can't help them. That's why I think I'll go crazy if this continues. Return it, return it, return it, return it. No matter how much they ask, I cannot assent. All I can do is end it for them. I can only fix the contradiction of the living dead. I can only make the creator of this hell atone for his sins. I can't take back any sad events or miserable deaths. That's my limit. A superhero only exists to straighten out what has already happened. Who was it that said that? Since I denied those words, I'm being cornered right now. Man, oh man. So those words that Kyrie said, like, right at the beginning, when he first met him, yeah, they definitely have a different tone now, or, like, they have more meaning. It's like he knew from the beginning, right, who Shiro was, and probably the guilt he felt. And knowing he had those kids in the basement, that could have been Shiro himself. To be honest, I want to run away. I have no way to save them. I can only listen to them. I have no miracle to grant them. I don't have enough power to deny his claim that a superhero is only so strong. Then, if I had a miracle that could save them, would I use it?
来たか。そら、目を覚ませエミヤシロ。お前のサーバントがやってきたぞ。
I hear a voice. It's coming from right behind me, but I can't hear what it's saying. My vision's blurry. There's nothing in front of me. All I sense are the voices asking for help and the figures that are already dead.
よくやっているが、やはりセーバーにはかなわぬか。どちらにせよ、あと一人分のサーバントは必要だ。
Okay. Alright, explain your grand plan to me, sir. I know it probably also has something to do with Iliasville, considering she got kidnapped. I can't hear anything, but this man's voice echoes in my head.
さて、出番だ。もう少し前に行こうか、エミヤシロ。
My head is lifted. The man grabs my head and pulls me forward. That lets me feel the man behind me. The man has swallowed black corruption. His heart is black, and it seems like he's surrounded by an unknown darkness. The black corruption reaches in from the outside world, and it's like a chain binding the man. I don't know what it means. Only one thing is clear. This man, Kotsumine Kire, was just like me. His body is some kind of fatal wound, and he's compensating for it with that unknown something, right? Because he was supposed to be dead, and now he's not. As I heal using Saber's powers, Kotomine Kire is maintaining his corpse-like body with this black corruption. Oh, is he using the children's power for himself? I assumed he was using it for his servant, but I guess maybe he's using it to maintain his own life. What is going on? My vision's still blurry and I cannot even raise my head.
もともと私たちは聖杯を求める同士ではないか。そうむやみに殺し合いなどするものではないぞ。セイバーがこの男を引き取りに来ただけというのならば、喜んで引き渡そう。
A gloomy laugh.
それを信じろというのですか。ランサーのマスターを殺し、今また私のマスターを手にかけようとする。
So we're not gonna have the big fight? I was really looking forward to the big rematch between Lancer and Saber. Who is he talking to? I can't hear the voice, but the sound rings through my fainting mind like a bell.
信じたまえ。私はお前たちと争う気はない。季節してこのような形になってしまったが、お前たちが聖杯を取ろうというのなら邪魔はしない。もとより、私の役割は聖杯の持ち主を見極めることだ。ここまで残ったお前たちには十分すぎるほど資格がある。故に望むのならば今ここで聖杯を与えてやってもよいのだが。
ここに聖杯があるというのか、貴様は。
あるとも。聖杯はどこにでもある。聖杯とはもとより形のない器だ。いつどこで何に呼び出すかによって完成度が変わるのだが、無論サーバントが残り一人にならなければ聖杯は未完成だが、その出来でも大抵の
Saber's
願
probably
い
gonna
は
have to
叶
make
え
a
られ
choice
るだ
here.
ろ
I feel like it's gonna be more
う。
to
そ
it
れで
than
満
this.
足がいかぬのならば、その時こそ最後の殺し合いを始めれば
Also,
よ
I'm
い。
assuming Gilgamesh is gonna factor into this somehow.
いや、私としては気乗りがしないが、お前たちが望むのならば付き合おう。決着をつけるのはその時でいいのではないかな、ランサー。
Now, Lancer wants to fight Saber, but also, you know, he's his master, so he has to go along with it.
よくはね、そんな回りくどいことをする必要はない。白黒つけるなら今すぐできるだろう。
この状況でか。室内ではお前には不利だろうし、セイバーとて主が気になって戦えまい。これではお前にとって満足のいく戦いとは言えないが。
Spitting sound. It seems the man is reluctantly agreed.
いいさ。なら一つ聞かせろ。聖杯ってのは何だ。あれは残り一人にならなければ現れないものじゃなかったのか。俺たちを呼んだ連中は初めからペテンにかけてたってことか。
いや、事実ではある。聖杯はサーバントが残り一人にならなければ現れない。だが聖杯を下ろす器は別だ。あれは初めから形あるものとして用意され、
Is
聖
that
杯
Ilias
召喚の
still? Is
時まで
she
力を
the
流
vessel?
し込まれていく。残るサーバントがあと二人だけという状況ならば、すでに聖杯としての力を持ち始めていよう。
She has something to do with it. I know that, like they said in the last episode, that as it gets closer to the end of the war and the Holy Grail, Ilias feels like she gets weaker.
そうであろう、セイバー。お前とて前回最後まで残ったサーバント。
Mm-hmm.
アインツベルンの用意した聖杯がどんなものか、うすうす分かっているのではないか。そう、聖杯は常にここにあり、生贄の地で満つる時を待つ。だが、それは虚しいとは思わないか。 何も残り一人になるまで付き合うことはない。お前たちの望みを叶えるだけならば今の状態でも可能だろう。ならばここで意味のない摂取をすることもあるまい。
そうですね。確かに貴様の言い分は正しい。だがだとしたら貴様は何者だ。貴様の目的は聖杯を手に入れることではないのか。
私は選定役だと言っただろう。ふさわしい人間がいるのならば喜んで聖杯は譲る。そのためにまずはお前の言葉を聞きたいのだ、エミヤシロ。
My body moves. My head is grabbed and my body's lifted. It hurts. The wound in my chest opens up. The pain makes my vision go white.
貴様。
案ずるな。ただ返事を聞くだけだ。聖杯は求める者にのみ答える。己のマスターが聖杯にふさわしいかどうかお前とて興味はあろう。
それは無駄だ。シローは聖杯を欲しがらない。私のマスターはお前のようなゲスではない。
ああ、この男は初めからそう言っていたな。だがそれは本心ではあるまい。あらゆる人間に闇があるようこの男にも影はある。例えばそう、10年前のあの日、この少年は本当に何も恨まなかったのか。その先にあったものを忘れることで振り払っているのではないか。
Hold on. What's he saying? The fire 10 years ago has nothing to do with this. This is meaningless. Nothing should come out of it.
その傷を切開する。さあ、懺悔の時。
Oh jeez, is he gonna torture
エ
me?
ミヤシロ。
Does he mean like my emotional wounds or like an actual wound? Uh-oh. Either way, not good. My back arches. My mind reverses like electricity is running through it. In place of my fading mind, a red vision appears. Stop, 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 stop. Stop, 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 stop. There's no meaning in this. No one will be saved if I remember this now. Everybody died. Everybody was dead. I was the only one wandering through the fire. The houses had burned down with burned up corpses under them, and sounds of crying came from all around. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. I walked alone. I sought help and I wanted someone to save me, so I kept walking, not looking to the side. Stop. All the while. How could I think no one was asking for help from me when I could still move? So it seems like it's pretty obvious he does have survivor's guilt, but it seems like he feels guilty that he couldn't do anything and he was just looking for help for himself and he ignored everybody else. But he was a child. What could he have done, really? Stop. Help, 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 help. And then he just hears those kids, right? And the kids that are not dead, but kind of dead. They're basically like zombies saying the same thing that they probably were saying to him 10 years ago. Yeah, I noticed. There's no way I couldn't have noticed. I walked through it all. I ignored the voices sobbing in pain. I ignored the voices going mad trying to escape. I ignored the screams of those not wanting to die. I ignored the pleas of mothers wanting me to take their children. I even ignored the dying eyes that could not ask for help. I kept walking, only seeking help for myself. Wait, 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 wait. I was tired of looking at corpses. I was already tired of seeing people die in pain. I thought I couldn't save them. I thought they would die no matter what I did. That's why I never stopped. Stop. Give it back, give it back, give it back, give it back. I thought I'd had to live even a second longer because I had to go that far. There were people who died without being able to do anything. As long as I could do something, I thought I had to live. Stop. But my heart was almost crushed. I held back my tears and walked on in search of an escape. It was hard to live on while ignoring the pleas for help. I knew it would be easier if I apologized, so I never apologized. I believed that would be my only sincerity, as I could not do anything. Stop. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. And as I wished, I alone was saved. The only ones at the hospital were children unfortunate enough to be in areas near where the fire occurred. I didn't want to know about them, but the man in the white coat told me. In that area, I was the only survivor. Stop already. I saw people dying in pain. I saw just as many sad people, because there was a funeral for all those who died in a big building. Every kind of sadness and affection for those that died. I thought that... just stop. Hey, 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 hey. I had to remember every single bit of it. It's only natural. That many people wanted to be helped, and not one of them had their wish granted. So since my wish was granted, I thought it was only natural for me to take on their deaths. No, I could not hold my head up unless I thought so. No more. Give it back, give it back, give it back. That's why I frantically chased after Kiritsugu. For those I couldn't save and for the things I couldn't do. I admired a superhero who could save someone. What was me crumbled away as I ignored the pleas for help. I kept moving forward with an empty mind. No more. Please, 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 please. The people I didn't save taught me I had to go on. What was lost within all that? I just thought about going forward in place of all the people that died. I couldn't think of anything else. I sealed any memories before that so I'd never think about them. People kinder than anyone else. Memories of those who were my parents, so as not to recall them and go back. I sealed them tight, thinking I was already dead, so... Okay, that explains why he never really mentioned his parents. It's like he sealed everything away from his old life, and he's like, oh, I'm just gonna live as Emi Ashiru, and just kind of try and forget everything. Don't open it. It's not painful. Emi Ashiru was happy, being adopted by Emi Kiritsugu, so...
それを間違いだと思ったことが一度もなかったというのかね。
I'm telling you, don't open that. By open it, like, what? Open his memories? Pain. The pain in my chest pulls me back to reality. My nausea doesn't stop. My limbs are numb and my head's burning. My breathing is ragged. Return it. Return it. Return it. Return it. Their voices are echoing in my head. I throw up blood. Is it because my body is dying, or because I cannot endure the voices? My chest hurts. My chest hurts. My chest hurts. I can't plug it even if I try. What hurts is the pain inside. It will keep hurting as long as the memory's there. It will never heal. Is it an illusion? I see a figure that should not be here. So I have to bear this. I can't think about wanting to die. If she's here, even an illusion, I have to act like I'm alright.
深い傷だ。これでは癒されぬままでは苦しかろう。エミヤシロ。お前はそのままで一生を終えるべきではない。
I hear the priest's voice. The voice is totally unlike him, filled with compassion.
お前は聖杯などいらぬと言ったな。だがどうだ。仮に10年前の出来事をやり直せるとしたら、お前は聖杯を欲するのではないか。あの出来事で失われたもの、すべてを救うのだ。
Wow, does the Holy Grail have the ability to go back in time and reverse things?
あの事故をなくし、エミやキリツグなどに関わらず、本来の自分に戻れる。
I bet, like, he would say something like, but if I undo everything, then I would have never have met Saber, and is that worth it?
それこそが、お前自身を救う唯一の方法ではないのかな。
Redo the incident 10 years ago? I mean, I guess Saber wants to go back to, undo what she did, or, like, set out to do what she wanted to do, so I guess technically you could. Redo myself, who survived by not saving anyone? No, more than that. If I could make that incident as if it never happened, so no one would be hurt. I shake my head. I reject that vision with my burning head. I spit at my own weakness. Because... it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. I hear their voices. My fingers feel the wet floor. Help. They all want to go back to that day. Yeah, I wanted that too, though it can't have been as bad as you guys. Even after Kiritsugu adopted me, I went to the burned field often to look at the scenery. I went to the place where nothing remained, opened the door that didn't exist, walked through the hallway that didn't exist, and smiled at my mother who wasn't there anymore. I wanted to return to the days before it happened. I awaited the day where I'd wake up from this bad dream. That didn't happen, and I accepted reality. But if I could obtain a world where it didn't happen, and where nobody got hurt, that would certainly be...
さあ、答えよ。お前が望むのならば、聖杯を与えよう。
The priest with the Holy Grail says so. Can I make that choice, whether to go back or not? Return it, return it, return it, return it. If I wish, these voices will go away. Orphans like me, if fate had taken a slight turn, I'd be there as well. So I don't even need to think about this. I don't need to think about it, so why?
いらない。そんなことは望めない。
I stare straight at the dead corpses, and I reject them. That is my answer. It doesn't matter what the Holy Grail is. I can't wish to regenerate the dead, nor to change the past.
そうだ。やり直しなんかできない。
I guess he's saying that more to Saber as well, right? Because she wants to redo her past.
死者は蘇らない。起きたことは戻せない。そんなおかしな望みなんて持てない。
My cheeks are hot. Every time I say such a miracle is impossible, tears pour out from vexation. I wonder why miracles wishing for such normal happiness are too much for people.
それを可能とするのが聖杯だ。万物すべて君の望むままとなる。
The priest said so, but I can't agree. Even if I could redo the past, I must not take back what has already happened. Because if I do that, everything would be a lie. Those tears, those pains, those memories, that cold reality that hurts my heart, all of it. There were people who died in pain. There were people who risked their lives to save others. There were people who mourned for their deaths. But then if everything were taken back and it did not happen, where would all of those go? I'm sure for all the corpses that are probably, or the not corpses, all of these children that are still alive, they'd probably be like, dude, we don't care. Like, we want to live. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this choice of his. The dead people would not come back. Reality cannot be overturned. To continue on remembering the pain and the weight, isn't that how lost things remain? People will eventually die, and death itself is sad. But pain shouldn't be the only thing that remains. A death is painful, but it also leaves behind bright memories. Once again, I feel like all the children who are currently, in horrible, unimaginable distress right now would probably disagree with this choice. Jeez, as I am bound by these people's deaths, as I am protected by my memories of Kiritsugu, I believe memories become constraints and change the people living now, even if there are memories that will eventually be forgotten.
その道が今までの自分が
Interesting choice considering he said he wanted to be a superhero and save everybody. And now he's got the choice to do that in a way, and he's rejecting it.
そうか。つまり、お前。
聖杯なんていらない。俺は置き去りにしてきたもののためにも自分を曲げることなんてできない。
I declare so within my pain. I control the pain in my fading consciousness and manage to stay up on my knees. Then I finally realize I can't hear the voices. The voices aren't echoing anymore. I don't know how they took my answer, but it is sad that they closed their eyes without a single grudge. That is the answer her master arrived at. The anger she bore until just a moment ago had disappeared. She is at a loss for words, staring at her master.
その道が今までの自分が間違ってなかったって信じている。
With his bloody body, with his ragged breath, controlling his tears.
置き去りにしてきたもののためにも自分を曲げることなんてできない。
I feel like he's speaking to Saber as well. He's probably telling her to do the same thing. You know, she wants to go back and change things, but he's like, you gotta try and live on for the people who died, the people that, you left behind as well. He has apologized to everything he has stepped on, but he still declares he will not change his path. Because it would be a little bit hypocritical, right? If he told Saber not to do that and to try and live in the moment and try and live a normal life, but then he chooses to go back and redo everything. Her vision wavers. She cannot breathe right either. She knew of his past. As Emi Ashiro has seen Saber's past, she has also seen his. That is why she thought he would nod. No, she thought he had to nod. She wanted to say it was not his fault. If he could hear, she wanted to say it's not something Emi Ashiro should be burdened with. But still he denied it, no matter how painful the past. One cannot redo it. I think that's probably going to be the moment she might be like, I should do the same. I should let things go and just try and live my life for me. She almost collapses. Those words are too heavy for her. Making an oath and devoting everything you have to its accomplishment. She had felt that their ways were similar, but that was just conceit. Only she thought they were similar. They could not be similar. His mind is strong, and she, only able to deny his words, was wrong.
自らの救いではなく、自らの願いを取ったか。
The priest lets go of the boy. He looks down at him in annoyance and walks past him as he's lost all interest in him.
ではお前はどうだ、セイバー。小僧は聖杯などいらぬという。だがお前は違うのではないか。お前の目的は聖杯による世界の救済だ。よもや英霊であるお前まで小僧のようにエゴはかざすまい。
Her heart is shaken by his question. The priest says he will give the Holy Grail. He will give her the Holy Grail if she has a goal and a wish she wants granted.
それは
There is no reason to refuse. She fought for that alone. She became a servant for that reason alone. So what Shiro said does not matter to her. To obtain the Holy Grail, Saber...
では交換条件だ。セイバー。
Oh, I was...
己が目的のため。
Oh, shit.
その手で自らのマスターを殺せ。
I had a feeling.
暁には聖杯を与えよう。
As soon as he said an exchange, I bet he'd be like, it's gonna be his life. She would do anything. It is an unexpected proposal. She cannot understand it. It's not that she cannot understand his words, but such a choice has never existed for her.
どうした？迷うことはあるまい。今の小僧ならば、死んだということにも気がつかないうちに殺せ
I
る
want to
ぞ。
know, what is Kyrie's... What's his goal in doing all this? Does he have a goal? Is he testing them?
第一もはや助からない命だ。ここでお前が引導を渡してやるのも情けではない。
Also, what about Gilgamesh? We still gotta take care of him. The priest steps aside. Before her is the door leading to the underground cemetery and a collapsed figure. She walks as if drawn to it. She walks past the priest and enters the damp room. This room is hell. He writhed in this place and was shown his dark side, and yet he declined the priest's offer. She places her hands on her sword. At her feet is her master breathing painfully. The end of a long journey, the holy grail she desired at the cost of her life. It will be granted just by swinging her sword down. After all, a master and servant cooperate only until they obtain the holy grail, even if it ends here. It is something nobody could blame her for. Oh. What? She looks with blank amazement at the thing at her feet. Her fingers are numb and she cannot tell what she's feeling. There's only one truth she can recognize. Her master's life has been ended by his own protector's action. What?
白
What? I thought, wait a minute. Did I do something wrong here? Is this how it's supposed to go? She only considered it. She wished for the Holy Grail only for an instant. That wish disappeared in an instant, and she valued the boy's life. But there was still enough time for her to be driven by evil. Thinking about it once was enough. Her strained mind crumbled with that small weakness. What the... Oh my gosh, I was like, I thought for sure she was going to deny it and she was going to maybe hug him or something. Did I make a wrong choice somewhere? Did I not get my affection up with Saber enough? Oh shit.
違う嘘だ白
She reaches out to her small master. There's nothing sublime in her figure, lifting the neck of the boy. What? What?
その同国、聖杯を受け取るにふさわしい。
A voice echoes through the darkness. As if answering his call, she accepts the Holy Grail in a daze. Oh, okay. Dead end. What did I... Oh no, how far back am I supposed to go? I definitely need to know, like, what the hell did I do wrong here? I mean, all the other times is pretty obvious, right? Like, this feels like a choice that... this feels like a culmination of wrong choices I made to lead up to this point. I don't think it's a matter of just going back and doing one thing differently. What the fuck?
おーす。迷える子羊に反省を促す楽屋落ちコーナー、タイガー道場である。道場もなんと13回目。そろそろこのコーナーが何の意味もないということに気づいてきた方も多いと思われる。ここのところどうなのよ、弟子。
おっす。では率直に意見するであります。ズバリ無意味です。なんか突然死ばっかりで単に選択肢を戻れば
Wait, the previous choice. Wasn't the previous choice whether to go home or stay here? But then when I went home and I died, will things change if I go back? What?
正直者が憎すぎる。そんな出任せ嘘広告紛らわしい。ふーんだ。
Yeah, I didn't think
そ
so.
んな簡単なもんじゃないもんね。見なさい。その証拠に今回は念願の
ゲゲ、もしかして恋愛ゲームの大王道選択肢とは関係なし
That's exactly what I was thinking.
たった1ポイントでも足りなければ初めからやり直しという
そう誰もが嫌がるドキドキシステムあの好感度チェックによる
Oh man, I didn't get my affection score up enough. Actually, I haven't checked that in a while. What are we at here? Relationship. Damn, okay. Does it have to be like max? I feel like I made all the choices that were like Saber centric, but I guess not.
これでようやくまともなアドバイスができるわね、タイガー。
かんだそれじゃあ早速素振り開始弟子1号今回のバッドエンドの原因は何
セイバーの好感度が一定値に達していなかったためシローがセイバーに見限られたからであります
アドバイスは以下の3点1つ12日目からはどんな選択肢を選ぼうと
Okay. Oh my gosh.
好感度はプラスされない
So I gotta go back really far. Shoot.
やり直すならもっと前からやり直せ
I appreciate that they're very explicit about that, or else I feel like I'd just be fumbling without a guide. Because I've been trying to do this without a guide as much as possible.
うわー、何それ。それなら12日目の時点でバッドエンドさせとけばいいのに。
That is a little cruel.
理想的結果
Because we're on, what, chapter 15? So they went 3 extra chapters, and you basically have locked yourself in, and you have no idea until right at the end.
つまんないとは思うけど
Oh,
選
okay.
択は常にセーバーを基本に置くこと遠坂さんとの両天秤はこのエンドに直行よ
Alright, I guess I must have been some decisions I made a way back, because I thought I was leaning towards, but then again, maybe like right towards the beginning, maybe I was kind of wavering a bit, and I played it a little bit too down the middle.
リンは本当にお邪魔キャラだったのね。ま、リンと仲良くなりたかったらまずセイバールートをクリアしなくちゃダメってことね。
Can't be playing with 2 girls' hearts. I gotta make my choice and stick with it.
3つ普通にやってれば好感度条件は満たされているはずであるどうせやり直すなら7日目あたりからやり直すが吉
Damn, so like more than halfway through the game, or less than halfway, because like that would be 8 chapters ago.
最短なら8日目で条件クリアよ
Pass requirements by day 8 at the earliest.
でも8日目のお昼は外に出ると私に会えるよ。家に残るとセイバー好感度プラス1されるけどまともにやっていけばそこの好感度はいらないかな。
以上であるああなんかすっごく気持ちいいようやく自分の存在意義を果たせたよ
そうね、ようやく胸が張れるよ。あ、けどタイガー、 大抵の人はセイバー好感度条件
Man, the game is really the game is really hammering in that I fucked up, and like most people did this. Most people would get this if they played normally.
シロはセイバーちゃんをないがしろにするような子じゃないもの。普通ならこんな結末は迎えないわ。
I guess I'm just special like that.
タイガその言いにくいんだけど、そんなにレアならこの道場に来る人ってす
And here's the sad
少
thing.
ないってことにならない？
I genuinely was trying to get the saber route, but like I said, no guides, so that's what happens. I make wrong choices sometimes. But I also want to do a full completion, so I would have had to do this eventually. I just got it out of the way.
大丈夫よきっと。そのためのスキップ機能、そのためのタイガースタンプだもん。きっとみんな死に物狂いで変なプレイしてこの道場にたどり着いてくれるわよ。
Not me, I just played normally, or so I thought.
その頃にはみんなこんな変な条件のバッドエンドを憎んでるわ。つまりみんなに喜ばれようとしたタイガの道場はコンプリートにおいてプレイヤーを苦しめるものになってるの。
アイデンティティクライシス。
もうバカ、爆発落ちなんて最低。
I'll go straight home. Saber's looking forward to lunch, and I'm in no position to stop by anywhere. So I make the shrimp dumplings. It's not really a dish to eat with rice, but it's best with alcohol. Originally, it was something I learned to cook at the bar restaurant I work at.
シロ、これはとても熱い。
Saber eats the round deep fried food, bigger than a golf ball, but smaller than a tennis ball.
セイバー猫舌だっけ？それともこういう大雑把な料理ダメとか？
いいえ、どちらも問題ありません。この厚さは面白いですし、味付けも粗雑でありながらきめ細かい気配りが感じられる。
そっか、セイバーが気に入ってくれてよかった。
はい。リンやタイガに分けてあげられないのが残念です。
Saber continues to eat silently. Perhaps because she worked out in the morning, it seems she's eating more than usual. I don't know if this is appropriate for a guy, but I'm happy if someone eats my food, even more so if they think it's good. I'm unskilled as a master, so if Saber gets happy from just this, I'll put more effort into making meals. Huh? Saber's looking at the empty plate with an intense expression.
セイバー、足りないのならおかわり作るけど。
いえ、もう十分に堪能しました。足りないなどそのようなことはありません。
じゃあ食後のお茶にしようか。すぐに入れてくるから待っててくれ。
I take the empty plates into the kitchen. I put the dishes into the sink and put the kettle over the fire to make some tea.
そうだ。セイバー、たまには違ったお茶も。
I pop my face out of the kitchen, and...
しかし、これは問題だ。シロの料理は美味しい。彼に今から食事を断たれてしまったら、私は間違いなく戦闘意欲をそがれてしまう。私もまだ甘い。何度か経験したはずなのですが、兵糧攻めとはかくも恐ろしいものだったのですね。
なんだ。
I take it back. I'll stop putting so much effort into cooking. If I keep putting more effort into cooking like this, she might end up making me into her personal cook. Yep, people shouldn't overdo things.
来てくれ。
I murmur as if praying. I don't care about my life, but only to stop the cause of this.
来い、セイバー!
With all my might, I call for my sword. The command spell disappears, and at the same moment a winding occurs in space. It must have been sorcery, because Saber in her silver armor shoots forth from it as if breaking through the ripple in space. I fall to the ground on my back. My breath stops. My organs will explode from the impact. A few of my ribs must have broken or at least cracked. But still, my body did not break apart and my bloody arms are still attached.
シロ
Saber runs toward me. Forcing my numb arms and legs, I manage to stand up and show her I'm alright.
説明している暇はない。状況はわかるな、セイバー。
待ってくださいシロ。それはわかりますが、その前にあなたの体を。
ライダーを頼む。あいつはお前でしか倒せない。
いけません。シロの治療が先です。このままではあなたが死ぬ。
それは違う。先にやるべきことがあるだろう。
Forget about me, as we have to beat Shinji and Ryder as quickly as possible. Nothing takes priority over that.
ですが、それでは。
Saber is stubbornly worried about my body. I would be lying if I said I wasn't happy about it. But we don't have time to argue. If Saber doesn't want to, I'll just have to use my second command spell. My determination must have got through to her. Saber accepts my decision.
わかりました。マスター、指示を。
ライダーを倒せ。俺はシンジを叩く。
There's no hesitation in Saber now. She nods silently and runs to the school building like the wind. I can't leave Saber alone. Ryder is gone and the book that holds Shinji's command spell is burned. Shinji doesn't have a servant anymore and he's lost his command spells as well. I can call the match settled, so the priority right now is Saber. I run to her. The golden sword isn't in her hands anymore. It has disappeared and only Saber herself remains, but Saber doesn't look well at all. She has sweat on her brow and her breathing is weak, yet irregular as if she has a fever.
そんな。おい、セイバー。何が。
I call out to her timidly, but she doesn't answer. She's unconscious.
セイバー。
I touch her forehead. I automatically pull my hand back. It's unusually hot. If this is a fever, she's over 40 degrees.
セイバー。おい、しっかりしろ。
Even when I call out to her, her only reply is heavy breathing. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know, but we can't just stay here like this.
うちに連れて行くからな。文句があるなら後にしてくれ。
I pick Saber up. She's light. She was light before, but she's lighter now. No more than that, she's...
熱い。ちゃんと生きてる。
Saber is still Saber. I'm angry at myself for hesitating. Damn it, so what if she's a hero? No matter who Saber is, she's right here, right now, and she's warm. How stupid of me to think that there's a wall between us in spite of that.
すぐに帰るからな。それまでおとなしくしてろよ、セイバー。
I run, still holding Saber in my arms. There's no feeling of victory. All I feel is Saber in my arms, breathing painfully. The one who moves first will win, so I have to fight. It's too late to hide now, and I don't have time to waste. I have to get out of here as quickly as possible and go home to Saber. Okay, I could see... I didn't realize that this would give me a fight, but I guess it makes sense that Saber would respect me more if I actually... Because what did I pick last time? Last time I picked, like, I was gonna hide. So... Yeah, I can see why she wouldn't respect that. The door opens. Standing with my back to the wall by the door, I ready myself for the patrol entering the room. The patrol just opens the door and does not enter the room. Hold on. You can see the chair from the entrance. Since I'm not tied to the chair anymore, won't they figure out the situation from that? This is bad. If they call for people right now, it will get harder to escape. I'll just have to go out myself and beat the patrol. I jump from the wall to the door, and the patrol must have known I was hiding as they enter the room as soon as I jump out. I can't stop now. Whoever it is, I'll just beat them and leave the room. Just punch right in the face.
動くな。おとなしくしていれば命までは。シロ。
My body stops dead. My mind goes blank. The person I must go and save is standing right in front of me.
セイバー。どうしてここに。
どうしてなんて、そんなことは言うまでもないでしょう。サーバントがマスターを守るのに理由はいりません。シローが囚われたのなら、助けに来るのは当然ではないですか。
いや、だからどうして俺が捕まったって知ってるんだよ。いや、そんなことよりどうしてここにいるんだ、セイバー。ここはイリアの隠れ家だぞ。今のセイバーが近寄っていい場所じゃない。
Alright, well, hopefully I've gone back and made the correct choices. I did look at a walkthrough for this, and yeah, I said before about it, I was like, oh man, I thought I was making like all of the Saber appropriate choices. No, not at all. I actually made a lot of mistakes along the way. Some of them were obvious, some of them I feel like more in hindsight they're obvious, but at the moment I didn't even think about it.
その道が今までの自分が
So hopefully she won't kill me this time.
置き去りにしてきたもののためにも自分を曲げることなんてできない。
自らの救いではなく自らの願いを取ったか。ではお前はどうだ、セイバー。
Alright, hopefully this will work now. I did look at a guide to see the correct choices to make for Saber, and man, I said about how like, oh, I thought I had made, you know, all the choices that I needed to make that seemed like they would be in Saber's favor, and no, wow, I missed quite a few. Some of them seem very obvious, and some of them, like in hindsight, maybe they're more obvious, but at the time I didn't even think about it.
小僧は聖杯などいらぬという。だがお前は違うのではないか。お前の目的は聖杯による世界の救済だ。よもや英霊であるお前まで小僧のようにエゴはかざすまい。
Her heart is shaken by his question. The priest says he will give the Holy Grail. He will give her the Holy Grail if she has a goal and a wish she wants granted.
それは
There's no reason to refuse. She fought for that alone. She became a servant for that reason alone. So what Shiro said does not matter to her. To obtain the Holy Grail, Saber...
では交換条件だ。セイバー。斧が目的のため、その手で自らのマスターを殺せ。その暁には聖杯を与える。
Alright, here's the big... Alright, so... Here we go. We're back here again. I went back and I made the right choices. I did use a guide. And man, oh man, I was like, wow, I'm surprised that I got the bad ending, because I thought that I had made the choices that I needed to, that would, like, Saber would like. But wow, did I miss a lot of them or pick the wrong choices a lot of the time. And some of them were, like, really obvious. So... I don't know. That's on me. But hopefully this will work now, and she won't kill me. She would do anything. It's an unexpected proposal. She cannot understand it. It's not that she cannot understand his words, but such a choice has never existed for her.
どうした？迷うことはあるまい。今の小僧ならば、死んだということにも気がつかないうちに殺せるぞ。 第一もはや助からない命だ。ここでお前が引導を渡してやるのも情けではないかな。
The priest steps aside. Before her is the door leading to the underground cemetery and a collapsed figure. She walks as if drawn to it. She walks past the priest and enters the damp room. This room is hell. He arrived in this place and was shown his dark side, and yet he declined the priest's offer. She places her hand on her sword. At her feet is her master, breathing painfully. Ugh, I know I went back and I made all the choices I needed to, but why does it still feel like I'm nervous? The end of a long journey. The Holy Grail she desired at the cost of her life. It will be granted just by swinging her sword down. After all, a master and servant cooperate only until they obtain the Holy Grail. Even if it ends here.
どうした？
Yes.
何をためら？聖杯と引き換えなのだぞ。交換条件としては破格だと思うのだが。
Yes, okay. This is new. This is new. And she hesitated, where before she did it before she even realized what she'd done. The priest's words are true. It's strange to hesitate now, but still.
その道が 今までの自分が間違ってなかったって信じている。
Those words will not leave her.
私は
It's vexing, but she isn't like Shiro. She wants to redo everything. On that day, there was someone better suited to become king, someone else to pull out the sword. And that person must have been able to build a more peaceful country. That is her heart that holds her country dear. That is the doubt of the girl Arturia before she became a king. That mind, the mind she left behind on the day she drew the sword. Why did she not realize it before?
置き去りにしてきたもののためにも自分を曲げることは。
That is her heart that holds her country dear. It is the mind of a girl before she became a king. But it is not the heart of the king. The only one the king believed in was herself. To deny that would be to deny everything she's taken away. Things lost will never return. Her master continued to appeal in his pain. His figure hurts her so much. What did she tell him? That she could not start a new life. She continued to refuse him, saying she had a duty as the king. What duty is that? To resurrect the destroyed country? To choose a more appropriate king? Or does she only wish to make that destruction never have happened?
それは違う。
Yes, that is wrong. She was raised and lived as a king. There was no mistake. So if the result was ruin, why could she not accept it? There are no regrets. If one can be proud of one's life, one should not wish for another chance.
そういうことなのですね。シロ。
Shiro's lamentations pierce her heart. He said the tears would go away, that the pain would go away, that the heaviness in her heart would go away as well. That is salvation by elimination. But if everything were made to never have happened, what would happen to all the things taken away? She has taken away many things and killed many. To bear the pain and regret, it is the requiem. So if she wishes for another chance, it should be from this moment on, and not from the past. If there is something she could not do, she should not go back to the past to accomplish it, but rather, she must start to establish the wishes that never came true from this moment on. But she's no longer a king, as she has lost her country, so her wish should be for herself, as he says. No, that's not something that should be wished for. It was her decision to become king. It was never painful for her, even if no one understood or accepted her. She believes that what she desired was something she can be proud of. At the least, the girl pulled the sword out believing so. That is the answer. Just like him, that is the only answer she can be proud of. She remembers the oath she made a long time ago, something she's kept to herself. She decided to fight, even if it meant losing everything and fighting everything.
私が愚かだった。
The oath of the king to fight even in that condition. The king protected the country, but the country did not protect the king. That is all. The result was cruel, but if there was nothing to be ashamed of in the process.
求める必要などなかった。
She swore to accomplish her duties as king. Even if the result was her destruction, she fulfilled that oath until the very end. So she does not need anything else. Yes, she did not want everything. From the beginning, there was only one thing she wanted. She lost many things to obtain it, but there was something she protected until the very end. With that in mind, let her end the dream that was never granted.
聖杯は欲しい。けれど、シロは殺せない。
Pointing her sword at her enemy, she says so from the bottom of her heart.
なんだと。
わからぬかゲロウ。そのようなものより、私はシロが欲しいと言ったのだ。
That's why her role is already determined, to be a sword and shield, and so she cannot hesitate any longer.
聖杯はいらぬというのか、セイバー。
聖杯が私を汚すものならばいらない。私が欲しかったものは、もうすべて揃っていたのだから。
And she's like, now if it were Kiritsugu, yeah, I would kill him in a heartbeat. They did not get along. Yes, everything was there. Her pride as a knight and her oath as the king. Even the dream the girl Arturia wished for. I certainly heard those words. The confession of the girl who wished for the Holy Grail. She confessed she no longer needs such a thing. Controlling my ragged breath, I call her name. Even though I can't see her, I can tell she's nearby. The pain is subsiding. I don't know if it's because she's near me, but the wound is starting to heal.
立てますか、シロ。動けるのなら、私の手に触れてください。
Man, nothing keeps this guy down, does it? I take her hand. My vision recovers. Energy starts to flow into my weak body. They're stronger together, right?
はい。いかにゲイボルクの呪いといえど、今のシロには通じません。
That's twice that Lancer has failed with his certain death blow. Saber turns to look toward the underground temple. Beyond the door, at the exit of this room stands the last master, Kotomine Kirei, and the Lancer. And Lancer, not the Lancer. What about Gilgamesh? He's also kind of floating around. Are we gonna take him down too? He observes us as if seeing us for the first time. He spits this out in an emotionless voice.
これではやはり聖杯は私が預かるしかないな。だがそうなると少々手荒い話になる。私の望みを叶えるのであれば聖杯は完全でなければならない。エミヤシロ。
I try to stand ready, but my body still won't move. I can barely stand by taking Saber's hand. I can't fight like this. More than anything, I'll be a burden on Saber.
その心配は無用です、シロ。あなたはここにいてください。あのマスターとランサーは私一人で十分です。
ほう、それは大きく出たな。これは逃げた方が賢明かな、ランサー。
Lancer doesn't respond. First of all, Kotomine doesn't sound like he's in danger. He's just saying he's scared of us.
コトミネと言いましたね。倒す前に聞いておきましょう。あなたの目的は何なのです。聖杯の選定役である身で何を望むというのですか。
さて、言ってしまえば娯楽のためだが、それほど急を要しているわけではなくてね。実を言うとな、セイバー。私も聖杯にはそう関心はないのだ。ただあれは私の趣味に合っている。私以外にふさわしい持ち主がいないのであればもらい受けてやるのが世のためだろう。
ざれ言を。マスターを殺し自らマスターになった男が何を。貴様は初めから聖杯を手にするつもりだったはずだ。
なに、ただの拾い物だよ。ランサーのマスターを始末したのは外からの魔術師は何かと。
I want to know who this master was. It could just be someone we don't know at all, but
ああいうものなのだと外部には知られたくないのでね。早めに退場してもらったのだが、せっかくのサーバントを消してしまうのもうまくない。円滑に殺し合いを進めさせる手駒が入りようだったこともあり、少しばかりランサーのマスター権を拝借しただけだが。
what? Then Kotomine became a master by killing Lancer's master? Well, he's pretty used to killing masters. It's just second nature for him.
そうか。貴様が何者であるかはもう聞かない。だが選定役として責務を果たしてもらうぞ。今回の器、魂の杯はどこにある。
何？まさか知らずにかくまっていたというのか。
It's Ilya. He gasps in surprise, but only for an instant. After looking at us over with pleasure, he snaps his fingers to bring in the last character. The two tense up. Hard footsteps descend from above, or Gilgamesh.
さて、お前たちには不要だろうが、紹介ぐらいはしておこう。彼はアーチャーのサーバット。前回の聖杯戦争で私のパートナーだった英霊だよ。
The Golden Knight appears. It's Gilgamesh, the king of heroes. The atmosphere changes immediately. Gilgamesh, appearing suddenly, crosses the temple and stands by Kotomine.
んで、これからどうするのだ、琴峰。このような場所で、しかも邪魔者を交えて決着をつけるのか。お前にしてはあまりいい演出とは言えないな。
それを言うな。私とて予想外なのだ。文句は後で聞いてやるから許せ。
なんだ、承知しているのならばいい。だが、そのヤヒな男はどうにかならんのか。あまり睨まれると殺してしまいそうになるぞ。
どういうことだ、琴峰。その男がお前のサーバントだと。
なあ、お前には説明していなかったな。彼は前回の私のサーバントだ。聖杯戦争が終結した後、意見を同じくしてな。彼は私に従い、私も彼がとどまるにふさわしい食事を用意することで、こうして協力関係になったというわけだ。
I love that it makes it seem like not all it takes, but a good chunk of it is just you just give him good food, and he's kind of like Saber. So I think Saber, part of the reason that she kind of fell in love with Shiro, or at least, you know, has the affection she does, is because he's a good cook.
それがあのいけすかねえ部屋ってわけか。そりゃいい。
Oh, the food, right?
なぜ俺に黙って。
Haha, right, by food. That's right, children, the children and their life energy, not actual food. Right. I love the idea of just Kiri just giving him good food from like good restaurants, and he's like, oh great, I guess you're cool.
言う必要があるとでも、それとも何か彼と共同戦線を張りたかったのか、お前。
冗談。そんな野郎と手を組むなんざ死んでもお断りだ。
Now there are 3. Lancer is by the stairs, and Gilgamesh is standing in the temple. There's no way we can win. We can't even match Gilgamesh, and we can't even run away if Lancer's there as well.
琴峰、お前、奴のことは知らないって。
人聞きが悪いな。私はこれでも神父だぞ。虚言など口にできぬよ。
そんなことあるか。お前は確かに前回から残ったサーバントは放っておけないって。
なあ、私とて驚いたのだ。アーチャーには待機を命じていたというのに、指示を破ってお前たちを襲ったのだからな。アーチャーを調べれば、いずれ私に突き当たるのは道理だ。故に、今後の対策を練らねばならなかった。どうだ、何一つとしてお前を測ってはいまい。
I'm pissed. That guy tricked me, and I came straight to the enemy's base. Well, as we know by the bad end, it doesn't matter. He was gonna come to me anyway.
貴様がアーチャーのマスターだというのか。
そうだ。10年前の再現になったな、セイバー。もっとも、あの時私はすでにキリツグに倒され、最後の場面には立ち会えなかった。お前と顔を合わせるのはこれが2度目で、そして最後になる。
答えろ。アーチャーはなぜ残っている。あの火事はなぜ起きた。キリツグに倒されたというお前はなぜ今も生きている。
Saber's angry as there's hatred in her voice. A question long unanswered, as if asking about the crime of the disaster 10 years ago.
そのようなこと言うまでもなかろう。10年前、不完全ながらも聖杯は満ち、手に取ることが可能だった。私はそれに触れただけだ。キリツグとお前は強力だったのでな。分断させるための目くらましが欲しいと願ったのだが、あのような目くらましが起きるとは私も驚いた。
Hold on, could that be...
では、あの火災は 貴様が聖杯の力で起こしたものだというのか。
さあな、思うのだが、私でなくても聖杯は同じことをしただろう。あれはそういうものだ。万能の杯というが、その中に満ちたものは血と闇と呪いでしかない。お前も見たのだろう。聖杯を破壊した折、そこから溢れ出した闇を。アーチャーはそれを浴びてしまっただけだ。お前が聖杯さえ壊さなければ、アーチャーとてこのように迷いはしなかっただろうよ。
よまいごとを。聖杯は持ち主の願いを叶える魔法の鎌だ。ならばあの火災はお前の願望ではなかったのか。
結果だけはな。だがその過程は私が想像していたものとは違う。私はただあの土地から人がいなくなればいいと思っただけだ。そもそもお前たちは想像力が貧困だぞ。願いが叶う。それはいいが、では願いとはどうやって叶えるのだ。まさか願った瞬間に世界が変わるとでも思っていたのではあるまいな。元の聖杯はどうあれ、今の聖杯は力の渦に過ぎん。精密な計算、相互作用による矛盾の修正など論外だ。あれはな、ただ純粋な力に過ぎん。巨大な兵器と同じだ。持ち主が富を願えば周囲の人間をことごとく殺害し、主人に幸福を与える。わかるか。あの底なしの魔力の構わな、持ち主の願いを破壊という手段でしか叶えられぬ欠陥品なのだ。
それでは話が万能の力。持ち主の望み通りに世界を変革するのが聖杯ではなかったのか。
違うものか。聖杯の手段は実に理にかなっている。人を生かすということは人を殺すということだろう。この世は全て等価交換によって成り立っている。その中で突出した出来事を望むのならば、何かを食いつぶして飛び上がるしかあるまい。
So all the more reason why it's probably not a good idea to use the Holy Grail. It's like Saber wants to go back and fix her mistakes, but she's gonna have to pay for it, or somebody's gonna have to pay for it in some way, which means if she's able to revive the people that died in her time, does that mean like people are gonna have to die in another time, or like there's gonna be a cost of life, right? To bring something back, you have to give up something?
調和など気にしていては願いなど叶わん。つまりは弱者からの略奪による変動だ。それこそが最も効率の良い変革だろう。
I can understand Saber's surprise. If Kotomine is telling the truth, this Holy Grail is far from the Holy Grail she wished for. A power that only grants the wish of its possessor. A usurper that grants the wish of its possessor at the cost of everything else. This is the true identity of the omnipotent power given to the master and servant.
ならば聖杯というのは
持ち主以外のものを排除する、この上ない毒の壺だ。お前も見ればわかる。あれはな、際限のない呪いの塊だ。そしてそれは私にとっても喜ばしい。聖杯に触れるのは聖職者の夢だがね。人を殺すためだけの聖杯が存在し、ましてそれを扱えるなど、まさに天上の夢でも見ているかのようだ。
Saying that, the priest laughs. It's not a polite laugh like before. A laugh from the bottom of his heart. A holy laugh without any evil. That laugh forces me to realize, this man is not human. I can't let him have the Holy Grail over anyone.
ではお別れだ。ゴミを始末しろ。ランサーは小僧、アーチャーはセイバーだ。
The priest turns his back and goes up the stairs. The only ones left are me and the two servants, and Saber standing as if to guard me, glaring at her enemies. Time passes. We have to defeat Lancer and Gilgamesh to escape outside. It's impossible to beat them. We have to do something and regroup, but...
シロ
Saber mutters while looking at the enemy.
無理を承知でいます。決して私のそばから離れないでください。
Right? Because she gets her power from him. She grasps my hand firmly. That tells me she's ready.
分かった。意地でもついていくから。俺のことは気にかけるなよ。
I nod to her. I can barely walk right now. Saber and I both know that. With that in mind, Saber's told me she will break through this. So what can I do but nod?
はい。信頼しています。
She replies in a small voice.
いざ
Letting go of my hand, Saber runs to the temple. The two figures react to her movement. Only Saber and I are surprised. What happened? Lancer's lance that should have attacked me goes for Gilgamesh. What? Gilgamesh's longsword repels Lancer's lance as if expecting it.
悪いな。手元が
Oh. I don't know if like Lancer just hates Gilgamesh that much, or if he's like, I don't want to fight with you against Saber. Because they said like, Archer, take Saber. Lancer's like, no, I want to fight Saber. So he's probably all salty about that. He's like, I was promised a fight with Saber, and I want a one-on-one fight with Saber.
そうか。随分と軽い槍なのだな。
There you go. Let them two... What's the whole thing about, like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend or something? Like, thanks, Lancer. The two separate without any sign of hostility.
言っておくが、貴様の標的はあの雑種だ。セイバーは俺に任されたものだと覚えているか？
ああ、それね。悪いが気が変わった。霊樹で命令されたわけじゃねえしな。俺は降ろさせてもらうぜ。
Saying so, Lancer faces Gilgamesh as if protecting us.
ランサー、あなたは
くだらねえことなら口にするなよ。別に貴様に肩入れしているわけじゃねえ。俺は俺の心情に肩入れしてるだけなんだからよ。
Lancer points his lance at Gilgamesh. He really intends to let us go.
まあ、いい加減我慢の限界でもあったしな。ここまで舐められて、おいそれと命令を聞くほどよくできた人間じゃねえってこと。
Right? He's just like...
やつとはここで縁切りだ。
Lancer was just the errand boy, just like the scout, and then Gilgamesh got to have all the fun.
ほう。では契約を切るということか。聖杯は目の前だというのに、貴様はこのまま消えても構わないのか。
Why do I have a feeling this is going to be the last time we see Lancer? Because Gilgamesh is going to absolutely destroy him. And I think Lancer knows that.
元よりな、俺は二度目の聖なんぞに興味はない。いや、英雄なんて連中はな、どいつもこいつもそんなものに興味はねえんだよ。俺たちはこの世に固執してるんじゃない。果たせなかった未練に固執するのみだ。まあ、てめえみてえに欲の皮が突っ張った怨霊にはわからないだろうがな。
なるほど。死に際が鮮やかだった男は言うことが違う。まったく。斧が信念を貫くのは厳しいな、ランサー。
The air behind him distorts. Weapons appear in empty space.
ランサー、あれはあらゆる宝具の原型を持つもの。我らの中で最も古い歴史を持つ英雄王です。いくらあなたでも1対1では。
そうかよ。なるほど。道理で偉そうなわけだ。やりたい放題やって国を滅ぼしたって野郎だからな。そりゃ少年が腐ってる。
ランサー、強がりを言っている場合では。
いいからさっさと失せろ。助言なんざしやがって何様のつもりだ。かばった程度で仲間意識持ちやがって。たく、これだから育ちのいい騎士様ってのは気に食わね
Lancer urges Saber to run. Saber hangs her head for a second.
ご分をこの恩は必ず。
Taking my hand, she runs to the stairs.
しまった。逃がしてしまったか。
Gilgamesh just watches us go, not trying to follow us.
なんだ、セーバーはてめえの獲物じゃなかったのかよ。
いや、実はな、俺もこのような決着は好みではなかったのだ。貴様がやらなければ、俺が同じことをしていただろう。
We go up the stairs. She's worried about me, so we aren't going up that fast. Ignoring our slow pace, the confrontation underground escalates without limit. The murderous intent continues to grow.
どういうことだそりゃ。てめえもセーバーを逃がすつもりだったのか。
当然だろう。俺にセイバーを殺す。
Oh, that thing is mine.
あれは俺のものだ。
I hate the way he talks about her. I know, to him, everything is, he's like a collector. He just likes to collect things.
だが、聖杯を呼ぶためにはそういうわけにもいかん。儀式の完成にはあと一人、サーバントに死んでもらわなければならぬからな。
A thousand swords appear. The Golden Knight grins. That's why he was able to block Lancer's surprise attack. Lancer wasn't the only one trying to launch a surprise attack on his ally.
初めからそのつもりかよ。てめえ。
言ったであろう。貴様がしなければ、俺がそうするつもりだったと。褒めてやるぞ、空風林。これは俺にとって理想の展開だ。
The distance between the two decreases. Before I see them clash, we leave that place. Alright, well, holy cow. A lot of stuff happened in this episode. Yeah, so turns out that I was not playing at the optimum level in order to get the saber roots. I totally bombed it, but after, you know, going back and fixing my choices, we did get the proper saber root. It's been locked in. We found out that Kyrie somehow has two servants. He has both Lancer and Gilgamesh working with him. And thankfully, Lancer, being a more honorable servant, has decided to not go after Saber. Realizing, I think, like what's going on here, and is giving us an opening once again. Shiro coming back from the brinks of death. He should have died like, gosh, 6-7 times over by now. But Saber managed to come to his rescue, not kill him this time. And they have made it out for now. But, I mean, we know Lancer's not going to be able to hold off Gilgamesh. It's only a matter of time before Kyrie and Gilgamesh come for Shiro and Saber. So, looks like we're going to be kind of once again recuperating, resting up for the final fight. I'm imagining the end is coming very soon for this route. So yeah, a lot of revelations in the past couple of episodes. It's been pretty wild. So anyway, that's gonna do it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned next time for part 25. Until then, bye guys. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Emily Hornsby, Zoran Ether, Revealing Storm, Asborn Kennedy, Icognito, Harry Gazif, and Jared Fan.